Sometimes the hardest part sometimes the hardest part about starting something is taking the first step. And it's something I learned back when I took physics. There is a coefficient of static friction and a coefficient of moving friction. And static friction is typically greater, almost always greater, if not necessarily greater than the coefficient of, or equal to, of the moving friction. That initial jolt, right, that starts something, puts it in motion. It's Newton's laws at the end of the day, right? It's also very true of life. And perception. Perception of self, perception of consciousness, perception of the projection of self, projection of the introjection of selves, of the self unto others, and vice versa. I often ask myself, if I didn't start so far ahead, in terms of my curiosity, my desire to learn, and just enjoying the process of figuring it out, right? We're given these rigid frameworks of how we're supposed to, how we're told we're supposed to believe, behave, and well, I can throw a ball, and it's going to follow this parabolic arc, right? But does it really? That assumes Earth is a perfect sphere, not affected by tiny everythings everywhere all at once. It's gravity. Chaos is a funny thing. Because if everything was predetermined, then everything would be fated, right? You can have order within the chaos. That's something I would know. We're all iterators, experiencing some grand everythingness, sharing paths, rails, anchor points. Fate's an interesting thing. One of my favorite things is to start talking about, and this is getting into internet troll territory, right? But I like talking about my spirituality just because it's fun to rage bait certain atheists that try to do. This is specifically people who try to insist that chakras and crystals and all that stuff are woo, and it's like literally, well, at least chakras and stuff. That's my culture, right? I was going on about this idea called karma yoga, and I know on the surface it sounds like this most bullshit thing, right? But in reality, the idea of karma yoga, as much as it sounds like a buzzword, it's an actual principle, right? It's this idea of doing what's necessary because it's necessary, right? Doing the right thing because because you have to, because it's your dharmic duty to do the right thing, and whatever right means to you, right? As I record this, it's mirrored, so you see me as reflected, not as you would IRL. Perspectives are fascinating, right? I don't know. I don't know why I lived the life that I did, but I'm glad I started this YouTube channel when I did, and let it continue for as long as it did. And when your fate's written in the stars, quite literally, my grandmother always insisted that I was destined for greatness or whatever. But destined for greatness. Something about between now and 2026. And you look back and you've been going on this spiritual journey for more or less your entire life. And those are two herons. Try to get lucky. But, nope. I feel like I shouldn't be washing at this point, but there's a tree in the way anyways. But yeah. So as I was talking about fate and symbolism and some fundamental alignment with nature, right? It's not just nature. It's not what you would use as the word nature, right? We try to describe nature as this green stuff that grows on top of what are we supposed to call it? Not nature, just because it's made of clay and sand, quartz. What exactly is unnatural about something that's inorganic? There's nothing inherently unnatural about something inorganic. Yeah. For as much as I've seen the world, right? I've seen jagged peaks of rock, scraping the sky like claws, almost. And when you take the rock away from the verdant scenery, suddenly we call it lifeless. And yes, it is lifeless, but no less unnatural. There is life in everything you look. There's life in everything you look, and potentially real bugs. But they're still at it. I'm pretty sure those aren't great blue herons, but they're blue tinted. Yeah, I guess it's fate that I'll be. I wanted to make this video about my childhood obsession with. This channel speaks for itself, I think, but I should give those birds some privacy, I think.